welcome back to the YouTube, everyone. I'm here with my friend PJ. We're going to be playing some gameplay tabletop style, so something that we haven't done on our channel in a minute. I'm going to be playing Ceruledge EX. PJ, what deck are you going to be playing?
I'm going to be playing Charizard EX with Pidgeot EX as obviously the engine, but we still have Dusknoir in there. It's very similar to how we played in the Stellar Crown format.
Sweet, sweet. Yeah, for me, I guess I should also note that what's different from my deck profile I did the other day on the channel, I've included Palkia VSTAR and gone with the aspect that discards up to 5 cards from your deck. So I'm really excited to see how it plays out. Do you have any early predictions on what you think this matchup might be, or you're unsure, or...
Right now, I'm a little unsure. I feel like it's kind of favored for Charizard just because of the lower HP on the Ceruledge EX. It could pose to be a little bit of a problem on their side, but you do have the Palkia in there, which is a little bit of a scary thing to think about with all my squishy basic Pokemon on my side.
Yeah, I'm hoping to rip those Pokemon to shreds with Radiant Greninja. Let's see or not if your deck plays Manaphy. I know we're gonna see, but either way, like this video, subscribe to the channel, check the description for the deck list for both decks, and let's jump into that gameplay. So PJ and I are going to be running through some gameplay today. I'm going to be playing Ceruledge EX, one of the new cards from Surging Sparks, and PJ is going to be playing a standard Charizard build. Pretty much from the Stellar Crown format, because like our current set, Stellar Crown, there's not really much that we're getting from this new set for a lot of the pre-existing decks. At least that's our kind of first take on the metagame. So as we kind of go through these matchups, we're going to be playing a standard best of 3. Hopefully we get some good gameplay here. And I want to really showcase that Ceruledge. I think it's one of the more promising archetypes coming out, what it can do. What do you think about it, PJ?
I think that the card is really good, and I'm interested to see the gameplay because the damage output on Ceruledge for the Abyssal Flames, you know, it's a 1 energy attack. Seems pretty good. It's 30 plus 20 more for each damage, or I'm sorry, 20 more damage for each energy card that's in your discard pile. Obviously, there's ways that we can ramp that up, which I'm sure that if you're watching this video, you can go down in the description and see the full deck list on how Zach and I are building this list to get those energy in the discard pile. I think the downside is, you know, 270 hit points is pretty low, but we have to see if it can obviously put up numbers and blow up a Charizard, right? That's kind of like the peak amount of HP that we're playing against. So that's why we're showcasing this matchup here, just to see if, you know, ye olden Charizard can do its work against the new Ceruledge, so the new fire toy on the block here. So we'll see which one's faster and how this is going to go. So we'll start it off with a coin flip, Zach.
What do you want to call PJ?
I'm going to go with Tails here.
Tails? And we got heads, so I am going to... I think Ceruledge probably wants to go first, right? Same thing as like Goldango, you evolve from basic to EX, exactly. So you could get it. Okay, sweet. So let's go ahead and 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And it looks like I got no basic here.
Okay, I did get a basic. But because we're kind of testing this matchup out, I'm going to not take my mulligan. I
Perfect.
think that's
easy mode for your boy League. Yeah, and if anyone here is trying to pick up any of these cards, I know that our sponsors over at K-Pape Cards will have some early pre-orders for their cards coming up pretty soon. Also, we have the code cards coming out on PTCGL store, so if you're trying to get some codes from the set, check out there along with our discounts.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love using the cards early on PTCG Live too. So I know that they generally release, what is it, the Thursday before the set's actually released. So you get an extra week or so to play with these cards on PTCG Live. So you're definitely going to want to check out the discount code down in the description of this video to save a little bit of money. And I think our Metafy group gets an extra discount on there too, which is
something cool. Like that. Yeah. Again, nothing there, but we do see the Brilliant Blender, or whatever it's going to call in English. So this is a little bit different than the one that I posted the other day. When with Palkia builds, similar to the Goldango deck, I think this deck is probably very similar to Goldango. 1 energy attack, dealing with a lot of energies, and we have the Palkia to use its VSTAR to power up Radiant Greninja to maybe turn a single prize card Pokemon into drawing a couple prize cards.
Yeah, and I think that this might actually start to put Goldango out of commission just because it's Fire Weak as an EX too, and now this one's basically the same type of deck in a sense. Obviously not drawing cards, but a fire Pokemon that's a stage 1 seems pretty interesting.
Okay, so I'm gonna start with the Squawkabilly.
Here we go, and I will start with my Cleffa here.
And if anyone's a little bit curious about how this deck works, basically I'm trying to, for the first energy attack, trying to discard as many energies as possible to do a lot of damage, 30 plus 20 for each energy in my discard pile. So 3, 4, 5, 6, I will pick up for my turn. And I mean, this hand's looking kind of good to start off. Like, I think I just really need to get out a few copies of that. I probably want to get a couple Charcadets out now while I still can, because otherwise that Charizard's going to rip them to shreds, and you probably got Dust Noir there too.
You just build up your board state, really. That's what you want to do, because you're going to dump a lot of resources this turn, it looks like.
Taking those out. So I'm going to get a couple of these Pokemon outs. And I mean, there's an opportunity here for me to grab Radiant Greninja. Maybe that's also worthwhile to extend things a little bit. I actually think I'm probably going to end up being able to draw into a Charcadet. I only really need one to start off. So we'll go with that. This deck might also need something else to get some cards back into your deck, because I can imagine, like, the whole idea is to use Carmine and Squawkabilly on the first turn. So we are rushing through our deck.
Yeah, you're going to see a lot of cards on your first turn, especially with the setup that you had. So I think that, you know, utilizing the cards that are in your hand when given, and then knowing, you know, your resources for the rest of the game is really important when you play a deck like this.
And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put my Pokestop down there, just so we can track that I haven't used them yet. I'm going to put the TSS Win ability use markers on them.
Wow, shameless plug here.
Shameless plug here. If you haven't got a chance to pick those up, we do have them on our website. So I go between Squawkabilly if I want to use Carmine first or not. I think it's much better to use Carmine first because I don't know if I'm going to draw into another supporter. And since I'm going first, this supporter, like, you might be like, Zach, you can't play a supporter on your first turn. Ha ha ha, because this says if you go first, you may use this card on your first turn. So we play 4 of that supporter. So I'm going to pitch with Carmine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I am going to go Ultra Ball, discarding. I always want to discard the water energies first. So I'm going to put them there in their separate little discard pile. And when it comes to other Pokemon that I might want to put down, I think what I want to do here is, since I have the Palkia, I'm going to try to get the Palkia out so I can do that next turn. And if you end up discarding any Pokemon, like I'm about to do, you could always find yourself getting them back with Night Stretcher. So far, like, I have to say, this deck's, like, I feel like I'm cooking right now. Like,
you are running through a lot of cards in your deck, and then you're also with Palkia on the board now. I'm kind of threatened because, you know, if I don't find Manaphy, which this deck list unfortunately does not play, you're threatening a Moonlit Shuriken.
Exactly. So I'm trying to force you to. That's exactly what I'm trying to do. So I'm gonna Squawkabilly. I was debating attaching the energy, but I think this deck, we play like 18. I'm trying to get so many in play. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
And even
there's the other Charcadet. I will attach an energy for my turn just so I'm able to kind of go through. Now, I'm debating, like, do I want to go I haven't done Radiant Greninja yet, so let's go ahead and do I want to Radiant Greninja first, or do I want to Pokestop? I don't think I want to Pokestop yet. So I'm going to go Radiant Greninja, pitch this, draw 1, 2, and how many energies do I have in my discard pile? Just in case you get like a Rotom or Lumineon down, I think I'm sitting at 5, so that's 130. I think I'm almost okay to go Pokestop because I can get back any of those resources with Night Stretcher that I actually just got off my Radiant Greninja. So I'm going to use Stop. 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to grab the Night Stretcher back. I'm fine losing the other Stop. I'm going to make sure that I didn't accidentally put an energy in the other pile. Now, I don't want to retreat yet. You're not attacking me on your first turn of the game. So I am going to go ahead here and pass my turn.
All right.
Because I can't attack.
Fair. That was a great first turn, though. So let's see here. I'm going to try to repeat that process here with another good turn. So I'm going to go in first and do a deck search with Buddy Buddy Poffin and see what I'm working with right now. Let's see. Energy count so far. Looks like we got all of our Charmanders. We got a Charmeleon. Both of our Charizards. We still got, let's see.
Does new Charizard actually even play Manaphy?
There are some lists that are cutting it. This one, unfortunately, is copied out of the Louisville regional list that made top 4. So this is the list I'm playing right now. So we're gonna go Buddy Buddy Poffin, and I feel like the next step for me is to just go in and use Arven here. And I think what Arven's gonna do is get me another Buddy Buddy Poffin, because there is a chance that my Charmanders go down this turn. Don't necessarily want to do that, and I don't want all of them to die right now. What I'm going to do instead of setting up a V, because I have Cleffa in the active, I'm just going to thin my hand out really good here, and I'm going to go in for a Nest Ball. Now, Nest Ball, generally what I would want to try to set up here is to take multi-prize turns, but I'm feeling like if I don't get a Pidgeot out anytime soon, that's going to hurt. Unfortunately, I did prize one of my Pidgeys, so that is going to have to turn into a Duskull, I think. So looking through everything, I am going to put a Duskull on the bench just to threaten your board a little bit, because we can hop a Dusknoir, kill your Radiant Greninja if that comes into the active, and start swinging at your bigger Pokemon, which is really what I want to do, is just even out that prize trade with Charizard. So we're going to put that back here. I'm going to put the Nest Ball in the discard pile, move this up here. Just to thin the hand a little bit, I am going to attach an energy card, because we know that we have all of our energy in the deck right now. I have a 3-card hand. I'll Grasping Draw for 4 more cards to end my turn here.
Okay, cool. I'm going to pick up for my turn. And, I mean, I'm feeling pretty good about what I can and can't do here. I really want to evolve these both into the Charcadet, or I guess Ceruledge from Charcadet.
Mm-hmm.
I also want to get the Palkia out, because if I could draw 2 prize cards, I already have the 3 waters there. So before I do anything, I'm gonna go Pokestop here, because I have double Night Stretcher in my hand. So 1, 2, 3. I'll take the 3 plus 60 damage. And I think what I end up doing here is I'm gonna go Night Stretcher 1, searching my deck for a Ceruledge. Gonna get that back. And since I have another Night Stretcher, I'm gonna Night Stretcher back a Fire Energy. And I'm just trying to get some extra cards here that I'm probably going to... Actually, you want to know what? I don't even know if I need that. Discard 2 water energies, 2 energies from this Pokemon. I think what I'm going to do, actually, is just go the Ultra Ball. So I'm changing my mind kind of mid-action.
Yeah.
So I could have sequenced that out maybe a little bit better. But there's the Palkia VSTAR. Yeah, and I'm just going to go ahead here and shuffle this. So in terms of just, like, general setup, I don't think I could have ever asked for anything else. This is about as perfect as I could have asked for.
It's going pretty well for you over on that side, I'm not going to lie.
I'm going to put that there down, because I'm about to pitch this hand away. So let's do this. I'm going to attach the Fire Energy onto the Radiant Greninja, basically forcing you into a situation where Radiant Greninja could be cool. And I'm going to play Research. I'm going to shuffle just in case I didn't shuffle again. But just because no actions were there. Cool, so there's that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Earthen Vessel weigh a Fire Energy, and I want to make sure I also have enough Fire Energies left to kind of exist in this game. let's grab water, going back in. Ultra balling away water. There's the other not Charcadet, Ceruledge.
Ceruledge. We knew what you're talking about.
Because basically I want to get myself to a point where my Radiant Greninja puts in a lot of efforts and a lot of everything, and then I'm just knocking out a couple Pokemon. I'm going to go ahead and use my VSTAR ability. I don't want to attack with Origin Form Palkia, so I'm going to attach the 3 over to this Pokemon. I'm going to retreat.
Right.
Send this up.
I was going to say, there's also a world where you attach one of those waters to your Palkia, so now you have an extra backup attacker later on in the game.
I don't know if it's going to ever do anything, because it caps at 260 in this matchup because you're not playing Area 0. And that's not enough to knock out a Charizard. It might knock out a Rotom or a Lumineon, but since Ceruledge is already packing on a lot of damage, like right now we're doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 is 180, 210. And I'm about to make it 250. I think by the time you knock out Radiant Greninja next turn, I'm going to be swinging for 330.
Perfect.
So let's go ahead and pitch these energies off, just so I have the double water. And I'm going to knock out your Charmander. And I'm going to knock out your... I don't want to knock out... Maybe I want to knock out Duskull? Duskull can't really get double prize cards here. I think, like... You have to use 2 of them. You might be able to use Briar at some point, but I'm also just going to try to take the extra prize card if I can, because I could also use Briar. So let's go ahead and go Charmander. How many cards do you have in your hands?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cards in hand.
If I could slow down your setup, I think that sounds really good. Yeah, let's just take out your Pidgey and your Charmander with the energy.
Sure.
I don't know if that's the right choice or not, but I mean, I'm still getting 2 prize cards either way.
Right. Okay. That seems fine.
And we're at 3, 6, 9, 11 energies now.
You got it. All right, cool. So we're going to leave the Cleffa in the active here. Zach gets to take 2 prize cards. I'm going to go in, and the next thing that I am going to do after drawing a card is I think I'm going to play an Arven. Now, Arven here is going to be able to get me... I think what I'm going to need now is an Ultra Ball, and then a Defiance Band, since I don't have really much else that I'm working with at this point in time. I'm going to use that, and then the next thing I want to do here, even though I've looked at my deck, I'm going to go back, and I am going to get myself a Pheasantipede, because that seems pretty good here too.
A lot of people on social media the other day were saying Pheasantipede might be the most toxic card in our format.
Absolutely. And I do think it is. I think it's probably the best card out of Shrouded Fable. I know a lot of people will say, oh, you know, Dust Noir or Night Stretcher. I mean, Pheasantipede literally belongs in almost every single deck. I will use the Pheasantipede with my my TSS marker here. 1, 2, 3. Okay, those are all pretty good cards. Now the next thing is you've taken 2 prize cards, so I'm swinging to 40.
We're at 4, so you can hit 270 with that Defiance now.
Right. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to place the Defiance Band down. I'm going to Ultra Ball away a Buddy Buddy Poffin, and I'm also going to Ultra Ball away this Duskull here.
Okay.
And then I'm going to go in and find myself the Charizard. I'll play the Rare Candy here and go in and use Infernal Rain to search for the 2 energies in the deck. And I'm just going to pop them right on there.
Okay. Yeah, the one thing about the other build is it played Legacy Energy, which I thought was kind of cool. So I can see Legacy Energy working pretty well, like in this current game, because I think I got enough of my energies with earlier on, but
Right.
I'm sure there's got to be other games where you're like plus 100 on Abyssal Flame is kind of broken.
Right, right. I do want to prevent you from taking another useful prize from me, so I'm gonna rare candy into the Dust Noir here.
Okay.
I'm gonna counter catcher one of your Ceruledge. It doesn't matter which one because they're both the same. Neither of them have energies on them.
Yep.
I will retreat here, and I think that the first thing I want to do is I think I'm gonna pop the Dust Noir, and I'm gonna knock out your Radiant Greninja. So we both get to take a prize card here.
Okay.
And then to follow that up, I will Unfair Stamp also.
Okay.
So we'll play the Unfair Stamp, ace back. Zach's gonna shuffle this in.
I always get so confused about cards like that, where it's just like, what's the exact wording on Unfair Stamp?
You can use this card only if any of your Pokemon were knocked out during your opponent's last.
I think it was like Rhyhorn. It used to say if one of your Pokemon was knocked out during your last turn, and I'm like, does that count as a double knockout?
Right, right.
I don't think I need too much here to actually respond back into your Charizard, though.
No, I don't think so either, but I'm just going to be hopeful that I draw what the kids call the nuts on this Unfair Stamp. Let's see.
And I got two cards, right?
You get 2 cards on your side.
That seems so fair.
It's pretty fair. So I'm going to swing Defiance Band, and at this point, since you've taken basically 3 prize cards, I should definitely be able to knock you out and take 2 more prize cards and even up that prize race.
So I have 13 in my discard pile. 13 is 13 times 2, 26, 29. I need to get 2 more. I'm just looking at my hand here, and let's go. Ceruledge goes there. Let's pick up for my turn.
Yeah,
it's actually a pretty good top deck of the Pokegear. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So research. We're just gonna completely recover off of everything you just did. And what I really need is I need to get down another Charcadet.
Yeah.
I do have a Night Stretcher, so I could go Night Stretcher, Charcadet, because I still have the other Ceruledge, no matter what, and nothing else here really does anything for me. And just to confirm, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to leave those out right now. I could potentially miss. I don't think I will, because I'm going to see most cards in my deck. But I think if I go... I guess it doesn't matter how I knock out your board as long... It's probably better for me to go Pokemon Catcher first, because at least if I get an energy, I can get the guarantee. So let's go Pokemon Catcher. We did get the heads. The Pokemon I'm going to bring up is your Pheasantipity. I think that's probably more important.
Sure.
And then I'm going to play Research to draw 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I am going to go...
Zach, I will warn you that your camera...
Yeah, we have it. We got it fixed. I probably got a text message or something. So I need 15 energies in my discard pile. I need to discard 2 more. So that means if I have 13 in my discard pile, I should have a few left here. So if I use Brilliant Blender, I could probably discard my last 1, 2, 3, because it's search your deck for up to 5 cards and discard them. Oh, I could discard other things too.
Yeah. It's like a better battle compressor for those who
let's discard Squawkabilly, because that card sucks. And let's also discard Buddy Poppin. So we're going to leave my deck with just these 3 cards.
Got it.
I will be going back into my deck, so this is going to be more than enough energies for me to... That's 16 energies. 16 times 2 is 320.
Mhm.
Plus 30
Plus
base,
the 30.
350. So we are beyond cooking. Discard those. Let's slap on this energy. If I put down, I don't think there's anything that like I shouldn't put down an extra Charcadet. I mean, I could like burn through my deck, so I think that seems completely fine. And if I go Alpad here, maybe, yeah, I think if I just go Palpad here, Palpad back in, Briar. I've already played a supporter, so you don't need to worry. I guess Briar doesn't
So
really help me at all.
yeah, I
I
was
guess
gonna
if I
say
go
that's the thing.
Carmine, because as much as I want to use research, I am running a little bit low.
Sure.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2.
Yeah, I always feel like you get Carmine at the wrong point in the game.
And let's go ahead and take the knockout on your active.
Got it. So Fez is gone. See you later, Fez. We're gonna promote Cleffa just because it has the free retreat.
Yep. I'm gonna go ahead put that in just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16.
Gotcha. I'm gonna take a look at my discard pile here. Okay, so we've got technically I kind of want to get those 3 back here, but the extra Charmander doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but neither does the Dusknoir here because I cannot pop that. I feel like if there is a world where you ever put energy back in, nothing really makes a difference. I think that the other issue with this build specifically is just that we don't play Hero's Cape, so that's kind of like the downside.
Yeah, there's nothing that I can really bring. There's nothing that you can do to withstand the hit because my max damage output is 17 energies in the discard pile, 340, 370. I think that's what it works out to.
Yep. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to Super Rod back in the energy and the Fez to try to thin out the deck a little bit further. We're just going to shuffle it up a couple more times here just to make sure that we had a nice good shuffle on it.
Yep.
And what I'm going to try to do is hopefully disrupt your board enough that we don't see you get the knockout, but it's not looking great here. So I'm going to go ahead and I'll just Ultra Ball. And Ultra Ball is going to get rid of the Arven and the Briar. And what that's going to do for me is I'm going to get the Fez here.
Sure.
And we're going to put that right under the bench. Then the next step for me is just attaching energy. I'm going to Iono here, my 2-card hand. And we'll have Zach put that right underneath his deck.
Do you want me to cut this, PJ, for you?
You're good. You're good. You're good. I trust.
I just want to make sure.
I'll draw
Iono to a solid 1.
To a solid 1. I then am going to flip the script here. Go 1, 2, and 3.
Yep.
Let's just go ahead and promote the Charizard, and I will swing for a KO on your Ceruledge here, getting down to 1 prize card.
Okay, so we need to get the Ceruledge up. I'm gonna pick up. Okay, so I think I automatically get it here because the cards that I had was Earthen Vessel and then Ceruledge. But we'll go through the motions. So I'm gonna go Pheasantipity, flip the script. 1, 2, 3. And then here it doesn't matter, but I can go Earthen Vessel, grab that, and then the Fire Energy was in the cards that I shuffled back. So I can do that, and then 17 energies hits for 370.
Right.
So 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 17 energies, drawing my last prize card.
Bingo.
So the one thing that's actually really interesting about that game is if you actually played a boss on my Palkia VSTAR, I just lost the game.
Right. Yeah, because you have no way to double retreat, I guess.
So one thing, I did make a mistake then with the Blender A-Spec, and I discarded 1 too many fire energies or 1 too many energies. So that's one thing you got to be careful about this deck is just resource management. That's a game that I was definitely like, I think I had it on board winning that game
Right.
from pretty much the beginning, and I almost lost just based off being greedy off of one too many energies that I didn't need.
Yeah, trapping your Palkia in the active was definitely the play to end that game, and because there was pretty. You have 2 energies left in deck with that vessel. You only had the one, right? So.
Because the thing is, if you didn't knock out my Ceruledge, I would have always had one with an energy. So as long as I had 2 energies, I would have been fine.
Exactly.
If I had 1 to 2 prize cards left.
Right.
So something to consider. So we are playing a best of 3, right, PJ?
Yes, we are.
Okay, cool. Would you like to go first or second?
Actually, this time I do want to go first because this deck does play the 3rd nest ball, so I think that it's kind of built for going first.
Yeah.
So we'll try that out and see how that goes. I'll cut my own deck here. Cut my deck into pieces. This is my last resort. So we're gonna draw
there.
the
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I always try to count just to make sure, because otherwise, like, there's just so many other pieces.
This is also get the mulligan here,
and I won't draw just to keep it even from earlier. So let's go ahead and set these prize cards up.
All right, we'll draw a new 7 cards.
Yeah, I mean, I think this deck is kind of cool. I also think it's really good for new players to teach them resource management.
Absolutely. There's that again.
I also think it's a pretty relatively easy deck to play on a base level where it's like build up energies in your discard pile.
Right.
Destroy some of those Pokemon.
Too many attacks. You're just kind of going in. You count the energy in your discard pile. It almost plays like a theme deck, but obviously the power output is much higher.
I mean, there are 18 energies, so unless you're going gold energies all the way, this deck is should be pretty cheap to put together.
Nice. I did finally get a basic Pokemon here, so we'll start the game off in a pretty good stance. So we're gonna start with the Duskull. I'll draw, and hopefully we can.
Bro's even playing the wrong Duskulls, yo.
I know. I think what I'm going to have to do here is just bench a Radzard and attach energy, because there's not too much else going on in my hand here, so this might be a pretty short game. So,
yikes.
Zach, you can go right ahead.
Okay, sweet. So what I think I'm going to try to do here is thin my deck of a bunch of energies first, because that's something that I didn't get a chance to do with these earthen vessels. So I'm going to try to grab emphasis on the water energies. I think is really cool. And I have another one, so I'm just going to go ahead earthen vessel, keeping one in my hands, discarding the other, grabbing some more waters. One cool thing that I could do that I never really thought about with this deck is you can attack with a Squawkabilly in situations like this to get some of those energies back.
Right. Yeah, putting the Squawkabilly into the active spot, maybe popping 2 onto your Palkia in a certain situation too. You could now start attacking with Palkia into things like my Pheasantipity, which would start to hurt a little bit later in the game.
I did get a research there too, so this deck's
nice.
I mean, so far I'm kind of really liking how this one plays out. I wonder if there's any other cool decks that we can cover. I know that on the channel I covered Archetype EX as a deck profile. I think that deck's really cool. Really cool doesn't mean good, everyone, by the way, in terms of competitive play.
Right.
I think Pikachu EX is one that a lot of people are talking about, so maybe we can get a chance to cover that.
Right.
I'm also just going to put these energies off to the side like last game. So putting them there.
I know somebody on the channel in the comments was talking about doing Melodic EX. That was another one. I'm a big fan of Sylveon EX. I think Sylveon's always been a super cool card. Whenever they make it into, those big 2-prize or 3-prize Pokemon in some cases, but that magical charm attack is pretty cool. During your opponent's next turn, attacks used by the defending Pokemon do 100 less, and then there's also the secondary attack that can get rid of 2 of your opponent's bench Pokemon. So I think that that's a really cool card if we look forward into the next format.
One thing that I'm also realized as I'm going through this game is I might want to have an extra Night Stretcher. I think that'd be really cool. I'm gonna
Right.
pal pad back here some these cards because I think those can be. Because unfortunately, I'm gonna have to go Squawkabilly again, or Squawkabilly this game. So let's put those back in there. I just want to make sure there's nothing else. Yeah.
I also forget that Counter Gain comes back into this set, which is pretty
That is a
awesome.
really cool card. In terms of, like, I remember playing that back in what 2018-ish formats.
Yeah.
Definitely a lot of cool decks that played that. A lot of tech box decks, so it might really change the way this metagame goes. But based off of the early Japanese results, there's not too much going on with this format.
No.
So let's go ahead and use the Squawkabilly's ability. Pitching these.
Squawk and Seize our hand.
Yeah, 100%. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
We got extra commentary from Luna in the background. You know.
I mean,
puppers.
sometimes that's all you need, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't get everything that I was looking for. I didn't see any Nest Balls, Ultra Balls, Buddy Poppin. So up to 2 basic fire energies. I might as well just get the extra and hit you for 20.
Got it.
So
Not
my
like
setup's not
4
nearly as
little
bad
bit.
as yours, but
Yeah, still not as good, not as powerful as it was last turn. So we'll go ahead and draw for turn here, and still just attempting to to do something.
yep.
And not a whole lot happening here. So I'm kind of at a loss where I can trap your active Charcadet, and hopefully you won't be able to ramp any more energies onto the board. But I think that at this point, I'm going to have to start attaching to Radiant Charizard, because there is a world where, you know, you don't knock out my Duskull, and then I'm able to attack with it. So I'm just going to pass it back over to you. This is the worst hand I've had with Charizard in a long time.
There's a Ceruledge. In terms of, like, other things, I am going to lose another Night Stretcher there. I think I'm forced here to still just go Carmine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Not much that I can use for these Night Stretchers that I'm playing, but...
Yeah, -5, +5 into the hand.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Am having a little bit more luck here, so I can just go Nuts Ball Search. I did prize the Palkia V this game, so
oh, perfect. That's what I like to hear. But there is a chance that Zach does draw the Palkia V off the prize cards here at this turn.
Well, one thing that I'm also considering is, based off how bad your setup is actually not attacking here. Because I could potentially get it with Boss's Orders, Counter Catcher, Knockout Radiant Ninja, Knockout Radiant Charizard, Knockout Duskull. But I'm gonna see if concealed cards can get me there. 1, 2. Yeah, I don't have a way to get the boss as far as I'm concerned. So I think, honestly, I don't think you're going to score the knockout, because I'm only drawing 1 prize card, right? Which puts your attack at 4, so you can't get there, and I'm doing 3, 5. Yeah, so I'm going to just retreat here, send this up.
Okay.
And I'm going... Have I attached for my turn yet?
I believe you did not, because you squawked.
I'm literally talking. I don't even. I use the Radiant Greninja, so I don't have my energy in my hand anymore. I'm like, did I attach? Does not matter. Let's go Abyssal Flame.
Sure.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 230. So that could have been a Terrapagos, and we could have knocked that out.
Right. So we're gonna take that. The Duskull is gonna go down, and here we go into the Radzard. Not the best that we've ever seen here. I think that it feels really bad, but I think that there is a world where we have to do this almost, where I'm going to go into Ultra Ball, discarding Boss's Orders and Rare Candy, just to find something, to feel something.
Do you have Lumineon?
So I don't have Lumineon in this
okay.
list. This list does not play the Lumineon, or at least I didn't see it when I went through here. I do have the
Yeah, I'm almost
Fez
positive the list
still.
played the Luminion, so maybe it's just in your prize
Yeah,
cards.
could be in the prize cards yet again, but we're just gonna play it out here. I'm gonna use the Forest Seal Stone and use that VSTAR.
Cool.
We're gonna go in, and what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna get myself an Arven to thin the deck a little bit more. I'm not necessarily using any of the resources I want to be using, but still going ahead and I want to see what tool cards we do have. The Defiance band, so if
It
I
might be
have to
better.
use that,
It might be better for you just go search your deck for an unfair stamp. Try to get Arven off the unfair stamp to get set up. That
that's
might slow
also
me
true
back a
too.
little bit. Just throwing that out there as a potential option, because like otherwise, then I just take
Yeah,
another prize card and the game could like.
right, because you also don't have Fez on board, so there is a world where we could try that. So
Because you're
let's
not getting the
force
knockout
seal
with
it.
Radiant Charizard this turn, anyways.
Right.
You're playing
Yeah,
it.
because you'd need to have taken. Yeah. So what I'm gonna do? Yeah, I won't bait you.
Yeah.
With the
I just want
unfair
to make.
snap.
Yeah, Zach loses because he shuffled his hand into his deck, and PJ was actually just gonna pass.
I'm gonna unfair stamp you to 2. So I will shuffle also my hand into my deck. So yeah, the unfair stamp is not an awful play. Again, it's not guaranteed to get a Buddy Poffin off of this or an Arven, but hey, we'll have to see what happens.
You might just drop my hand
Right.
enough.
2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, that's not an awful.
Brother got a
hand
much
here.
better hand than we currently had.
So we're just gonna go with a Charmander, and I know that there's no Palkia, so I think Pidgey's pretty safe here. Let me take a look at the resources in my hand now too, because Cleffa should come down at this point in the game, because Cleffa being a free retreater is pretty good. I have a much better hand, just like Zach was saying, so I think my Radzard is going to have to take a little bit of a hit in this matchup here, but it's also increasing my damage output for the amount of prizes that Zach's taking, so I think that that's just fine. Once I'm done shuffling the deck, I'm gonna instant charge to draw 3 more cards so we can maybe play the game here.
Okay. I'm gonna go Radiant Greninja. Surprise, surprise, I drew into an energy. So let's hope that I can get anything else off here. There's a Ceruledge. There's an energy. So I'm feeling okay about that, because I just don't want to get disrupted again. Now, when it comes down to these Pokemon that can attack, I'm behind on prize cards. If I take a prize card, your attack only costs 3 energies, and then you're able to maybe put Defiance Spell and knock me out. So I think it's actually better for me to knock out your active Pokemon. So 3, 6, 9, 11.
So you're doing 220 plus the 3. We're doing 250.
250. And then this is going to bring me to 270. So I only have to discard 3 more energies to get to my 330 kind of cap. So I'm just trying to keep that in mind as we kind of progress through the game. Like, what kind of numbers can I, like, knock out? And yeah, I think I'm just going to go for the knockout on your active with a Abyssal Flame.
Got it. So Radzard's going down. Cleffa's going to come up because of the free retreat. I'll draw for turn here.
Sure.
Okay, so it's good to set up a secondary Charmander in this situation. We're going to go in with Arven. And Arven is going to allow me to actually play the game here. So we're definitely getting a rare candy off of this.
So one thing that's crazy about Charizard is Charizard can, like, recover from almost any given situation like this.
Right. And here, I think that, you know, just being able to set up a Charizard this turn is going to be really, really good.
The Defiance Band is so tough to deal with, because, like, if I had 280, this would be a non-question of just, like, how I could rip through your Pokemon, but you're just like, Zach takes 2 prize cards, now we're up.
No big deal. Exactly. So I'm going to Ultra Ball away another Charmander and an Iono here.
Yeah.
In order for me to get the Charizard. Now, we're going to chain some combo pieces here. We're going to go ahead and rare candy onto the Charmander from last turn.
Yeah.
So then I will be able to put the energy cards onto the field here. I think we're just going to need the 2 at this point in the game. So we're just going to attach those both here onto the Charizard. And I'll shuffle up the deck here. Do our thing. put those back. The next step for me is I'm going to promote this into the active spot and attach the Defiance Band, and I will swing for the 270.
Yeah, because
for
2
the
prize
map.
cards, 240, 270, sweet.
Yep.
And I'm just again gonna just double check, see what I got going on here. So I'm gonna count them like I did previous game, just putting them out here to make it a little bit easier. 10, 12. And I need 15, so I still need 3 more. Okay, let's go ahead and send up. Actually, if I send up Squawkabilly, that could actually get me 1 more in play.
Sure.
I also need another Pokemon set up here, so let's go ahead, pick this up. Let's pitch away this water energy. 1, 2.
Okay.
Charcadet energy, just in case I miss. I'm gonna go
Got it.
for Pokemon Catcher. Tails. Let's go research.
You got it.
So finally recovering from that unfair stand. S-ball. Search my deck for a Pheasantipity.
And there it is.
I'm gonna Ultra Ball, grab out an Origin Form. So I'm trying to thin out before I use the Pheasantipity to try to get rid of the situation.
Right, capitalize on what's in the deck versus what's not.
There's that. Let's use Pheasantipity here.
Okay.
I should be pretty good. 1, 2, 3. I actually missed. This, yeah, I'm still a little lit low. So if I go Pokemon Catcher, heads. Ooh. Let's bring up your Rotom, so at least I can put myself on track. 2 prizer, 2 prizer, 2 prizer. And now I just need to thin through my deck a little bit. So I know there wasn't anything left here, so let's go Ultra Ball. This away, search. Yeah, you can see, like, this is literally what I had left in my deck. So almost any given card gets me, like, any of these cards, the other cards get me nothing off the books. Oh, it's so tough. I'm also just gonna waste a Nest Ball.
Sure.
Retreat, send up, and then I'm going to draw 2 prize cards by knocking you out.
You got it. All right, so we've got the Cleffa into the active spot. I'm going to go ahead and draw a card. Perfect. What a top deck. I'm going to rare candy here and go into the Pidgeot EX. And currently, Zach, what's the energy count in your discard pile?
So I'm sitting at 14. So 14 is 280, 310.
Got it. Okay, so I will rare candy into the Pidgeot EX. I'm going to attach an energy here to the Charmander. I'll go ahead and use Quick Search. Quick Search is going to allow me to go back into the deck.
Is this one of those Iono moments?
Yes, this is one of the Iono, if this is going to get me there, but I'm going to try. I am going to get Iono, even though you don't necessarily have to see that, but I'm going to show it to you anyway.
You just like, yeah, I didn't have this before in my hand.
It's fine. I will counter Catcher your Fez.
Ooh.
And then I'm going to Iono and put my 1 card underneath and draw 3.
1 card.
Cards.
2 cards.
Gotcha. Now, in order for me to play the game, I'm still going to attempt to get more Pokemon out in the field, and just see how I'm going to do that. I'm going to fail the first one.
Yeah.
So we're thinning the deck. We're going to use the second one here, and I'm really just going in for a Duskull. Just so we can add insult to injury here.
Yeah, if you had Radzard available this turn to take the knockout on Fez, that might have been like what seals. So like one thing that I don't like about this deck is there's not a lot of counterplay when it comes down to it.
Right. And then at this point right now, I'm going to go ahead and just bring up my Charizard and knock out your Fez and take 2 prize cards. So now we're evened up on the prize tree.
Okay, so now, so I think this actually just allows me to win the game, because if I send up Charcadet, I have an Earthen Vessel in my hand. So if I go Earthen Vessel, search my deck for my 2 fire energies.
Yeah.
I mean, either way, it doesn't matter, because I had Earthen Vessel and I had a lot of fire energies that I missed last turn to knock out the Charizard.
Right, you just needed 1 energy.
So I have the energy to retreat. So that's if I only had 1, but let's see if Radiant Greninja could get me there as well. There's 2 Radiant Greninja. I also have a boss's orders to bring up your Pidgeot EX. My Pidgeot. So this brings me to 16 energies. And let's say, like, if there's a few more options, I can use Pokestop, discard these 3 cards, giving myself a full access to my entire deck. So I can go Abyssal Flame for a huge amount of damage, 16, 320, 350. I had a energy and the Blunder Prize. So I wouldn't say it's necessarily a good matchup for Ceruledge, but I'm not necessarily a bad matchup either. There's definitely some opportunities there. I think like as PJ and other players become a little bit more knowledgeable of these kind of matchups, we can kind of go and see exactly what kind of happens there. But it's pretty interesting gameplay across the board. But
absolutely. And again, buying a turn with changing just solely the ace spec in a deck like this could actually swing this matchup too.
Exactly. There's certainly a lot of opportunities to grab out your basic Pokemon, grab out some other things. So I think it's some time to experiment with these decks, but we'll have some closing thoughts on it overall. But that's the gameplay portion of this video for sure. That was some wild gameplay. I did not think that I was going to win this at 2-0. Definitely could have played a little bit better in some spots. What do you think about the matchup now afterwards, PJ?
Definitely looking at it, obviously being able to ramp the 330 or higher damage output, it was really scary. I think capitalizing on the not so great board setup is something that you don't always estimate when you're thinking about these matchups with Charizard. But if you don't have a really great setup and you're not able to find the pieces that you need, obviously I thought I could just disrupt your board and take out your Fez. And it really was a point where I see too many attackers in the board, so we have to go after those threats instead of just disrupting you. So I think that it is a matchup I have to think about a little bit more. Maybe we start to tech for it as a Charizard player and see how much of the meta share Ceruledge starts to take up.
100%. Yeah, I think Ceruledge might actually be able to kind of hang with some of those other big decks in the metagame. I don't think it's S tier. I don't think it's tier 1. But could it win a League Cup? Could it win a League Challenge? Could it even, like, you want to know what? Maybe it could top 8 a regionals. I think it has the power there. Very similar to Goldango in a lot of ways. But with a different typing, it being a Terra type Pokemon, and then just like its ease of play, this might be the best deck for some viewers here to kind of pick up the pieces for.
Absolutely. Super simple to play, pretty much one linear game plan for the most part. Obviously some extra plays that you have with that Radiant Greninja now in here too, but it's a really straightforward deck. You just get cards into the discard pile and keep on trucking.
Exactly. So we're going to be doing some more tabletop gameplay either with PJ and myself or some other Shuffle Squad members, maybe some guests, some friends of the squad. So stay tuned for more content. Let us know what you think about it. We've really been trying our best to upgrade the quality of our videos on the channel so far. I know that I just got a recent new computer setup with the Mac Studio. I think PJ is going to go through the process as well. So really investing back into our creators here at Shuffle. That being said, I appreciate everyone watching. I'm sure PJ does too. Catch up with all y'all later. Peace out and have a great one. Want to support the Shuffle Squad? Be sure to check out all of our sponsors in the description to pick up Pokemon TCG singles, sealed, and PTCG live codes. You made it to the end. Thank you so much for watching this entire video from the Shuffle Squad. Honestly, from the bottom of our hearts, we appreciate each and every person that supports our content, watches what we have going on every single day, every single week, even from time to time, and continuously allows us to have a forum to project our creative content towards the Pokemon TCG community. So if you haven't already, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and even leave a comment to help boost the YouTube algorithm. That being said, we'll catch you with our next video. Thanks again. Take it easy.